and then ask them to identify their point of view. So something I feel like they might struggle with a little bit at times is identifying their point of view through what they're saying, thinking, or doing, you know, so, so just identifying point of view is a struggle as well.
Also, like, what type of point of view? I don't know, when I learned point of view, it's like strictly as rhetorical device, like point of view is like first, second, third person. This doesn't say explicitly, like, is it the author's point of view or is it the narrator's point of view in regards to the events that are, as they are happening, which seems to be what New York is asking for.
So I think where you're getting confused, so basically the book is written in either first, second, or third person point of view, but the point of view here, it's asking specifically her point of view. So it's referring to how she feels.
It's supposed to
Right,
feel.
but for a sixth grader,
For a
to
sixth
know the
grader.
difference, right?
Yeah.
I understand now what they were asking for.
All right, so we have the exemplar. I think that we're good here. What I want to do is go ahead and pass out the student work.
Okay.
And we are going to kind of look through the student work, compare it to the exemplar know and show, and compare it to the exemplar and see if there are misconceptions that the kids have regarding these things that we're discussing. Because these are, and you said that these kids got this assignment and they just did it on their own.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I forget if I told them this is about the aftermath or not,
Sure.
but I didn't really help them. I was just like, okay, here you go.
All right, let's check it out.
Alright, so how
Give
many is
everybody
this
a few.
person?
Come on,
Or-
just split them up.
Maybe
Split
like
it-
one
oh,
high,
principal?
one low for everybody.
Let's see, this is some for you, some for you. Oh, whoops, I think I gave you guys too much.
Yeah.
I'll take some. And then you got some?
All right.
Cool.
So for real
it's like
quick,
the Greek god.
Yeah.
for this one, since point of view is not, I mean, as long as they support it, we're gonna mark it as correct, right?
Yeah.
Like, as long as they can defend their point of view.
Exactly.
Cause this one's not what we have. But we supported it well,
Okay.
if I may say something.
I feel like ELA is so subjective, it would be cruel
Yeah.
to like
Um,
not allow that to be.
Exactly.
Even in
And-
like SBAC, they'll be
Yeah.
like, well, as long as they support it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the scored writing pieces, that's very true. Obviously, the multiple choice answer, like read comprehensions, are a little bit more, this one's more right than any of the others. But I think you're right. If they can support what they wrote down, I think that's the most important.
So we're just looking for common misconceptions?
Yep.
Or, okay.
And ELA is a great exercise for this because as much as we don't look forward to grading writing samples, they're always the funnest thing in the world to read.
Sometimes I find it harder than math or science because it's not like a formula.
Right, it's not formula.
Mhm. I'm looking for a nice second set list.
Alright, Radius, come on now.
I think I'm confused, what exactly am I looking for here?
So you're
Misconceptions?
comparing it, you're comparing, is there a gap between what the kids
And the
are
exemplar.
producing in the exemplar, or your exemplar, right,
Okay.
because it's subjective? And what are misconceptions that kids have? Are they not using figurative languages?
Sure.
Kind of, not languages, I'm sorry, language.
So not paying attention to the first page about context.
Right.
Some of them were the definitions of
I know because
introduction.
it's studied a book.
Yeah. I also had written down a couple terms on the board as well. Some of the writing is so hard to read. That's where I also have trouble.
And this one's in Spanish.
So I'm not writing anything on them, right? I'm just
Child training.
looking.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't check if that was in Spanish.
I was just calling it, I met him all day.
Who graded this for you?
Huh?
Who graded this for you?
Well, most of them I did, but
Not
I
the
did a lot of
Spanish
them.
one.
Oh, for that one, I just didn't have the time to find
Oh.
someone to translate. So I gave him the points for trying for that one. I mean, if someone that knows Spanish can look over it.
And just do Google Translate, you can like take a picture on your phone and it will translate for you and it's
Wait,
not-
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that'd be
Except maybe
great.
not this one.
Huh?
Maybe type this
It
one.
might.
That it might not recognize.
That's why it's
That's
terrible.
I
But
gave him the points just for trying.
Los
Luckily-
panaderos.
Because I could read it.
Serían una
both are beautiful
otra
and
vez.
anymore.
Alright, so let's, kind of finish up and see if there's any glaring things that
I know.
we can identify that Miss Katie wants to incorporate in an upcoming, and did most of the kids have this problem? I saw 5 or 6 of them, and there's a couple things that stood out to me like glaring. So
And one little thing.
go ahead.
They get confused between facts and opinions. That's one big thing I've noticed recently.
Okay.
Fact versus opinion. Okay, there you guys go. That's the only thing I really noticed.
For me, I don't know if I have like the language to properly articulate this, but for me, it's like either it's hit or miss. They got it or they didn't get it. When they didn't get it, it was so much of a miss, as in like they completely not just misunderstood what the question was asking, but they took it in a literal sense. Like they said, because the author said so, or
Mhm.
because it says so in the book. Like that was not just once; it was like multiple times.
So if they didn't get it, like I saw the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't get it, how far back do we want to go with this assignment in terms of a misunderstanding that will really kind of give Katie the most bang for her buck moving forward?
I think that it's outside of the standards. I think it's more like how to read a question. Like what is the question
Mhm.
asking?
Okay, but if we had to choose one of these, because the questions are getting to
Annotating,
annotating,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Yep.
I would say annotating and finding out the main idea of a text. Anything else? But let me ask this question too. Would this hurt or hold back kids that really got it?
What do you mean?
So if we're saying that, like you said, and I saw the same thing, either they got it or they didn't.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is focusing on this moving forward as a reteach is going to help the kids that didn't.
Yeah.
Is it going to hurt the kids that did?
It's not gonna hurt them, but it will inhibit like further growth. Like I wonder if you could like scaffold that so they had something to do and they weren't relearning something they already knew.
Think about that, okay? When we go to reteach,
Okay.
I'm going to circle. Anything else we want to put up here?
Is this still misconception?
Yes.
They, I don't know how to word this, but they did go directly to the explicit stuff, like, she mentioned a lot of noises, so she thought it was noisy. I don't know how to.
They need a better understanding of figurative language.
Or,
What is implied versus
Well,
literal.
like, heard a cry, she heard Baker's woman, she heard, so like that's what they're citing for it being too noisy. But that's not like what her point of view was. She wasn't thinking it was too noisy.
So I think that's just a misconception of what is, what you don't know what point of view.
Then they know what point of view is, right? Okay, so point of view. Cool.
I mean, she could think that it was too noisy, but
That's why I
that
was
wasn't
confused
the
about that.
point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
Right.
also that none of mine at least like knew how to cite, right? It's like no grammar, no author mentions, like sometimes they didn't have quotation marks,
Yeah,
so they all need like kind of a mini lesson on
Also,
excellent,
writing,
this is helpful.
I can't read this.
Alright, so based on those misconceptions, can we come up with, we're gonna transition now and come up with a reteaching plan, so take your notes out. Miss Katie,
Thank you guys.
let's get our work back to her. Thank you for bringing this in, awesome.
Thank you. This was actually my strongest class. Some of my other students from my other classes.
I was impressed with some of like Annabelle and Izzy.
So are you ready?
When am I ready? See it?
Sure, wherever you want.
So reteach plan?
So for reteaching plans, we're gonna focus on either a guided discourse or modeling lesson. Thinking about these misconceptions, what do you guys think would be more beneficial for the students? A modeling where most kids didn't get something, or a guided discourse where some kids like scaffolding that would come into play?
I honestly feel when I taught them, they feel better when, I don't know, it's kind of with each other, but the first one, I don't know, I show them how to get to the answer, like I work with them on that first one, and then I'm kind of able to send them off on their own working together and then independently. But the first one, rather than just giving them the answer and then saying, all right, your turn, I can't just write it on there and then just, give them an example. So I think some kind of modeling, working with them. So maybe, is that guided discourse?
It depends. So modeling is more your Maddie's mentioned a mini lesson on citing, right? So today we're going to work on citing. A lot of most of the students didn't understand this concept when it came time for this assessment, so we're going to spend today citing. This is how you do it. It's more of a modeling lesson.
Okay.
Facts and opinions, annotating, point of view especially would probably require more guided discourse, where you start with a model maybe, and then you allow kids that are very good at it to continue and give them support that way. And then you guys can speak to this better than I could.
The easiest way I remember it, or I think I would say, is modeling. You're doing 100% of it for them, and they are doing it. They are copying what you were doing. And guided discourse is like you're walking them through, but you're not doing it for them. They're doing
Okay.
it.
Okay. Because I definitely want them to be able to do it on their own too. I just want to make sure.
I
They know
think
how it got to the
more,
answer.
I think the majority of this is going to be modeling with checks for understanding. I think if you're teaching just one class lesson, personally, like you could, if you're going through doing the whole like exam or similar exam together, like you would do a guided discourse through their annotations, right? Like you're reading to them as they're annotating, or they're doing it in pairs. Maybe preceding this, like you do give like a complete model lesson on point of view. And then when you're going through and actually doing it, maybe you interrupt like the guided discourse to like teach them how to cite, which is modeling.
Okay. Got it. So showing.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
So let's help her do that. Let's help her what that might look like
Okay.
for something like this.
Okay.
So my question is, are you gonna like review these specific exams, so they just take these with them, and then like try and do a lesson, or just teach like
The next one.
lessons based on the standards?
I think maybe lessons based on the standards, so they can practice it with a whole new material, so then it's not just memorized information because they've already done this. I wanna see that they can actually do it, not just, like something that they remember and can just repeat or echo, or that they have memorized, so something new. So probably the next lesson.
You'll
I think it's important though.
But it might be good to go back into this.
No, I don't think so. Well, I don't know. I think it's more of a moving forward, how can we get the kids to distinguish between figurative language, point of view, or use figurative language to describe point of view. I mean, I think we should maybe script out a little practice so that, not so much practice but maybe practice of a way a lesson might be configured.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could be helpful, like, if you have your next lesson, for example, like, with the standards, as they come up, like, when you have 6.6, then you could teach, like, a mini lesson, like, along, that you prepare, maybe that, like, Engage doesn't have anything, like, specifically teaching point of view,
All right.
at which case you could, like, proceed your lesson with a lesson on point of view.
Because tomorrow, what we're basically doing, we're starting our essay and we're starting the first body paragraph. But besides that, it's just basically looking at the book and the excerpt of the aftermath of the earthquake, and just starting their essay. So starting the body paragraphs. So it's basically all we're really doing tomorrow.
Well, I'm gonna step back and sometimes you laugh, but I would say,
I
like,
wouldn't step
writing
back.
the essay is the perfect time to, like, well, it's too much right voice. It's the perfect time to do a mini lesson on citations.
So
Because they
before
need to
you
know how
get
to
into
cite, yeah,
Yeah.
or like as they're doing it, like,
Absolutely.
say, like, I don't know how you break up your essay writing, but for me, I make them templates, I do outlining,
That'd be
they
great.
do claim, they do outlining, I can send you this, and then they gather their evidence, right? So like when they're gathering their evidence, you could do the claim workshop, and that would be like modeling, and then the guided discourse would be as they're picking out their specific pieces of evidence to back their claim. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you know how far have you started writing the essay?
They're not yet. It's
Perfect.
weird because sometimes what we've been doing is we've been doing it out of order because of the Engage lesson. So it's asking me to have them do the body paragraphs first and then the introduction and the conclusion tomorrow. So do you think that's something that's gonna be confusing for them?
I think if they're guided with tools like Ms. Talent was just talking about, that I would follow Engage.
Okay,
And it'll help them develop all of their skills first,
yeah,
and then they can write the introduction and conclusion, because that's how a lot of people write.
okay.
Does it give you the little, New York Engage has like that, like graphic organizer, it's like claim,
Usually,
point,
yeah.
point, point,
Mhm.
evidence,
Yeah.
evidence. I don't know what the thing below is, you know what I got?
Yeah.
That's like
I
a
think
good
so.
part, like maybe the first day, like we never get through that whole thing in a day, so you're like, come with their claim, then they pick the 3 reasons they think, and then the next lesson is like where they cite. Am I making sense with this? You'd have to like know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sorry.
It looks like, don't be sorry,
It's
it
a lot.
looks like this, this is what they do, I don't know if they do this for 6th grade. It's like claim. Point 1. And then, evidence. In so many words. And then, I forget what's that. Do you have it like this? It's kinda like that. Yeah. That's what they always give me for the essays.
Okay, so point 1, so the first.
It's like, what's your first paragraph? Maybe your second paragraph, your third paragraph.
Okay.
And then what's the evidence you're gonna use to support this?
Okay.
And
So
then
that's when you could do like citing.
I would also really encourage, because when I was looking through this lesson in Engage, Engage doesn't give any kind of structure to, or lesson plan, it just says this activity, this activity,
Yeah.
this activity. So, I don't know what you all use, or if you use anything to kind of, block sections of a lesson, do now, first activity, second activity. If that would be helpful, I don't know, it just depends on the assignment, I know, and the lesson. But, I know that Engage doesn't offer that at all,
Yeah.
but not that I've seen. Am I right about
Sometimes they have had do nows, but very rarely. So I usually create my own do nows based on reviewing information or bringing in information that's going to help them for that
Yeah.
day or something they're struggling on.
Yeah, but annotating the lesson will really help you, sort of create timestamps and sections where, I'm gonna use this engagement strategy for
Yeah,
this particular, piece or whatever.
definitely. And I've been doing that. Sometimes I pick and choose certain activities though, because some things I have tried, like getting them up out of their seats, and I want to do that more, but they've kind of gotten riled up on me sometimes. So I've turned it into mostly paired work, so I can teach them, because getting them up and then getting them back down in their seats.
It's hard.
Okay, you should try what I do, like the 2 groups.
Hmm?
You should try what I do, like the 2
2
groups.
groups?
Yeah, you never teach the whole class. And like you just like throw half of the class on their books on audio. I can help you with it if you want, maybe a different time.
You should go see it. I can take you to see it if you want.
but asked me what day we're doing it, because what I'm doing this week is we're writing essays, they're all on their Chromebooks.
Oh, wait, so like half on audio, so that's just.
Ideally, you do 3 groups, but like the easiest way is like literally, so you just go look at my classroom, you turn half the desks away facing the wall, so you see their computers, right? And they're on Chromebooks, and they're on headphones, and they have Packet, they're annotating, they're listening.
Oh.
And so they're plugged in and they're working, and then you can see their screens, because they're facing away from you, they're facing the wall, not the
They're doing
whiteboard.
Lexia or?
No, they're reading the book.
Oh.
Or they could be doing like a skill builder or something, it could be Lexia.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're teaching a mini lesson, and then you switch halfway through, or you just do the next day.
I really like that, cause I mean.
Yeah, I can't
I do-
teach because behavior, so.
I do good with the class, but I do even better in smaller groups.
It's a great
Huh.
skill.
I could do that every day.
I do it every day, because
Oh my
it's too
God.
hard with behavior for me, I don't know how you do it.
For the 8th graders, it's different. They're different breed. 6, 7, 8. It's just amazing to me how different the kids are.
Okay, yeah, cause they have like so much energy, I love them, they have so much.
So I tried that with the last year's 8th graders and it worked, but I didn't keep it up.
It's hard to be.
Last year's 8th graders were, I never won another group like that, never again.
Last year's 8th graders?
I couldn't finish a complete sentence last year.
That's how I felt earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So it's-
And it didn't work very well with them because they would just,
So maybe I keep
Yeah,
trying.
it sucks because curriculum becomes secondary, because you're like pulling your hair, I can't speak.
Alright, so thank you all very much. That was awesome. Thank you, Katie, for bringing your stuff in. Or what I'm gonna do is alternate between ELA, math, and science. I think I'm gonna combine math and science actually, our weekly game meetings. So we'll meet every other week,
Okay,
but during the weeks that we don't meet, I'll try my best to do one-on-one sessions.
okay,
So, and Marina's actually working with you, so you and I will do a one-on-one section every other week.
Okay, what time you be normally, or?
Whenever you want.
Okay,
So we'll just touch base either on the Friday or the Monday.
okay,
So it's up to you.
Okay.
I'll do a 15 or 10 to 15 minute observation, and then we'll do a coaching session on that.
okay,
But you just tell me when you want me to come in.
okay,
It doesn't matter to me.
okay.
I seriously like that strategy. The only thing I have an issue with is the headphones thing, is that